Coming up, part 2.
That's very interesting to watch. Can the Chiefs come back? Whether you're a Chiefs fan or not a Chiefs fan, the Eagles owned the Chiefs during the Super Bowl.
My main goal right off the bat is we're going to start with the cutest pets contest on this page right here, because everybody wants to talk about their animals. They may not talk about their kids. They may be like, I'm not putting my kids on social media. They'll put their damn dog on there every day. We'll start becoming the trusted advisors in the car buying process ahead of the game. I'm not walking into a dealership blind anymore. I'm coming in and I'm going, hey, is Jared here? I need to talk to Jared. And Jared don't know me from anybody, but I feel like I know Jared because I have consumed Jared's content for over 3 months now.
You have to create the same type of feeling in the customer that they know you or they know about you. Mm-hmm. How do you do it? You do it on social media.
Surmise who they are as people, what they drive, who they are. I said, now go take a picture of your hottest, freshest trade that you think fits this demographic of people who commented on your post. He had only 7 comments on that, but 3 of them were buyers. Now, another lady comments on there. She's like, Phil, call me about this car right now. It worked exactly like we wanted it to. I didn't need 1 million views.
So now I'm interested in a few teams, to be honest. Okay. I'm interested in the repeat of the Eagles. Can they do it? Football definitely being the most complicated sport, maybe next to European soccer, but the most complicated sport to repeat a championship. Mm-hmm. So few that you only have a handful of teams that have done it twice and none that have ever done it 3 times in a row. So can the Eagles repeat? Can the Cowboys be as good as everybody, can the Cowboys be as good as they believe they are, number one? And can they be as good as what the most valued sports franchise or the most valuable football team actually says you should be, as good as you should be? That's very interesting to watch, Can the Chiefs come back? Can they come back from last year? Because whether you're a Chiefs fan or not a Chiefs fan, the Eagles owned the Chiefs during the Super Bowl.
100%.
They 100% executed a plan to get Mahomes mentally out of the game early, to get him frustrated. The more frustrated he gets, the sloppier he gets, the more mistakes he makes, right? So does Mahomes, do the Chiefs actually have the ability to turn that around, or is that message, is that feeling going to stay in their subconscious and haunt them all season long? Can the 49ers get past, get past the championship? Can the Lions get past the NFC championship? It's going to be things like that. Like, that's what I watch.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
I'm a multi-team fan as well. So my team is the Chiefs, but if I'm going to pay money to go to a game in Arrowhead this year, it's probably going to be in October when the Lions are there playing, because I love watching that team play. I think their coach is amazing. I mean, I don't think anybody's better than Andy Reid, but I'm very biased on that part of it right there. But there are teams also that if the tickets were free, I wouldn't go.
Right.
I would not go see Dallas play. I just seriously can't stand the Cowboys. Never could, never will. Don't care.
Ain't going to the Jets game.
Nobody. Well, only
only Gary goes. That's it.
Only Gary's going to the Jets game.
He's the only one going.
And so, there's some teams that I really respect. It's funny because Carrie Weiss and I have a true rivalry going on, because she's a huge Niners fan. And the year that the Niners played the Chiefs down in Miami, we were going to go to the Super Bowl together. And we had it all mapped out. We were like, we're going, we're both going to be there rooting for our teams. And at the last minute, I had a friend in mental distress that needed my help. And so I had to not go. But I was taunting her all through the game. Yeah. It was amazing. I did taunt her whenever it was at the Raider Stadium too. So, but I love watching some team George Kittle is one of my favorite tight ends ever. I love that guy so much. I will watch him play all day long. Christian McCaffrey is super talented. I'm not a fan of Brock Purdy. I think he probably flamed out already. I don't know. But there's several different players within the NFL that if that game's on, I'm going to stop, because I love watching the execution of those plays right there. But I'm never going to miss a Chiefs game for sure. And I'm just so excited. I mean, it seems like a long time between football season. It probably really isn't. And they probably only get like a month off, but it's exciting. I'm excited for football season this year.
Me too. Absolutely.
And I think that I was shocked the year before we played such shit football. The Chiefs played such shit football that we made it to the playoffs and that we made it to the Super Bowl the year before was like, and that we won the Super Bowl was a shock to us fans because we're like, we didn't win those games. We just didn't lose them.
Right. You didn't. Yeah. The Chiefs didn't win those games. The opposition lost the game every single time.
Yes.
And the Chiefs there was just enough time in the game for them to capitalize on whatever the mistake, whatever the mess up, whatever it was that the mistake that the other team made, which shows as important as it is to execute your play and as important as it is to execute your plan, you also have to be able to take advantage when the other team does not execute their plan. You
have to capitalize on their errors, on their gaps, and you have to be able to read that in real time and go, "Oh, we need to watch this. There's a problem right here, and we're gonna dominate that part right there."
Right.
I am also a dog mom, and I love seeing. The thing is that people don't understand is that you can have friends all over the world and you can be so in touch with them and who they are and what they do on the daily because of social media. And like, I love Rocky like he was my own dog. That he is like just the cream of the crop, and that your dad sneaks him crackers. Those things are priceless. And it's funny because whenever I teach salespeople like how to do their own organic social, like those are the things I'm telling them. I'm like, this is gold. You have to understand your happy customers or your vehicle that you didn't even pull out of the slot. That's not social media.
Right.
Rocky is social media. Your dad is social media. Your parents being immigrants is social media. Like the things that let people in to know why they want to even align with you. And then you go, every once in a while you go, oh yeah, and I sell cars. So it's not 80% I sell cars and 20% about my life. People want to know who they're doing business with. So tell me about Rocky. How's his life?
Rocky has the life. That's the only way to say it. Rocky has the life. It all starts. I was at a dealership for the last 3 days up in North Jersey at Phillipsburg Easton Honda. And when that's one of the dealerships that is, in what I call is in the system, right? So in the Strong30 system, which means that I actually go to the dealership for either 2 or 3 days. This dealership happens to be 3. And yeah, I do a training seminar and then I do one-on-one coaching with all the salespeople that are there, right? Help them set up their goals, help them get over adversity, whatever's really, really blocking them, from actually moving to the next step. And then I sell some damn cars. When I'm there, I sell cars, right? So I make it on purpose that I finish everything, that I try to finish all of my one-on-ones at a time that still allows time that I can stay at the dealership and take TOs, take overflow ups, greet people on the sales, greet people either on the floor or out on the lot.
Yeah.
And yesterday I'm at Phillipsburg Easton Honda helping a green salesperson set up everything to show a vehicle to a customer, which I wound up, and Rocco did a great job. I had to wind up taking over because he's as green as green. And this was a service to sales conversion customer and everything. But as I was doing that, I'm walking and there's a lady in the lot with her phone taking a picture of a customer with her car running in front of the car, right in front of the car she's taking a picture of on the lot. So I'm like, okay, she's a buyer. I'm like, okay, she's going to buy a car. So I start talking to her and I'm like, do you want me to get the keys? Do you want to, something to talk to start going, And she goes, you don't need the keys. It's open. I already checked. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess somebody else was looking at it, And she's like, yeah, well, it's really nice and everything. It's got a lot of room. And so I just walk up and I start opening the doors and I open up the back and I'm talking to her and everything, right? And she goes, oh, you can seat, it was a pre-owned Grand Cherokee. She goes, oh, you can seat 7 people in here, And I said, yeah, you can either seat 7 people or 2 people and 4 dogs, like one or the other. And she goes, yeah, I got big dogs too. What kind of dog do you have? And I said, I have the expensive kind, And she goes, oh, he cost a lot of money. And I said, not only does he cost a lot of money, but he costs a lot of money to to maintain his life. Yeah, to maintain his life. He says, but to be, and she goes, I like how you said you could fit 2 people and 4 dogs. And I go, yeah, in reality, I don't really know like 5 other people I want in the car with me at the same time. Me, my wife, the dog can sit in her lap, and then I got all these other seats. Like, she's like, what about your kids? And I'm like, sometimes, she starts laughing. She goes,
can't they just follow us there?
Yeah. I mean, so I'm like, she starts laughing and she goes, can we go for a ride? And I'm like, of course we can go for a ride, but I need to get somebody else to help you, right? I'm working with another customer. I just saw you standing, so I didn't want you to be left alone. Let me get somebody else for you. Long story short, she winds up buying the car, right? Okay. And I walk by and she goes like this to me as I walk by in the showroom, and I go up to her and I said, what's the matter?
Epic BDC is a proud sponsor of the Social Grenade podcast. Tune in.
And she holds her phone up and she's got a picture of her dog on the thing, So
and that's the golden thing, right? So even whenever we go in and we're taking over organic social for dealerships, like I've had dealerships that have like 12,000 followers on their page and it's just dead, right? Like nobody is engaging with anything. There's not any likes, no shares, no comments, whatever. Like it's dead. Like somebody probably in 2018 bought some likes at an India bot farm or whatever. And so there's just nothing going on. And they'll go, yeah, but we have like 12,000 page likes. I'm like, if it were me, I'd probably start all over from scratch because those mean nothing. We could look in there and see what country they're all from.
Right.
There's very few that are real. And I don't want to have to go through deleting all of these people. But if they're insistent on keeping it, then my main goal right off the bat is we're going to start with the cutest pets contest on this page right here. I'm going to tag every local shelter around here. I'm going to do whatever because everybody wants to talk about their animals, and it doesn't matter. They may not talk about their kids. They may be like, I'm not putting my kids on social media. They'll put their damn dog on there every day.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And you tell somebody, stop right now, drop a picture of your dog right now. They have 75 of them in their phone at least. I have a folder. I have a photo album of Caesar and friends because we've had several dogs over the years, but Caesar's outlived all of them so far. So, so it's so smart. And I love watching your guys' life through Rocky's eyes and his little, he's got that little area that Andrea has all set up for him.
Yes.
It's adorable. It's absolutely adorable.
Like I said, he has the life.
Yeah.
Like he really has the life. There is a spot, I'll tell you the story really quick. On the side, one side of our yard, the fence, between the fence and the house is a spot that's about this wide. Okay. Rocky is 11 pounds. All right. So he can fit right through this spot. So one day we're walking by and Andrea says, oh my God, look at that spot. We have to get some bricks or something and close it up before Rocky gets out of there. And I go, do you really think he's leaving? Where is he going to go that's better than here? Like seriously, his world is only this big to begin with. Yeah. Where in the world is he going? I was like, he's the kind of dog that if by accident, like you leave him outside, he comes to the door and scratches at the door. Like, come on, let me back in. Like he doesn't run away. He doesn't run down the block. He doesn't chase squirrels. He doesn't do any of that. He wants back inside in the air conditioning again. So
I have a Maltese, and it was not mine. It was Shasta's. And then for whatever reason, I ended up with Caesar. And now Caesar is stupid because he doesn't know how good he has it. And that stupid dog will dig out. I mean, he's 6 pounds. He will dig out and get out. He won't dig out. He'll dig into the neighbor's yard because they have a gap that he can squeeze under their gate and get out. So we have a neighborhood Facebook group. Everybody knows this dog because he escaped. He always has a shirt on because he has itchy skin.
Okay.
And so he'll scratch himself raw if he doesn't have a shirt on. Like right now, he has a Chiefs jersey on. But they'll be like, and if there's new people, they'll go, there's a little white dog with a blue shirt on running through the neighborhood. And everyone's like, it's Caesar. I'll come get him. Robin's probably at work. And so it's a constant. Like last night it happened again, but he didn't dig out. And so then now my last rescue, which is my son's dog, which is a 150-pound Rottweiler. So I have a 150-pound Rottweiler and a 6-pound Maltese. They're the best of buds. But whenever Caesar starts digging, if he starts struggling, Murphy will help him. he'll come dig for him for a little bit and then push his butt through the hole and get him out.
Oh my God.
Because you'll see the paw marks that are this big where Murphy has helped dig Caesar out because that's what the little guy wanted.
Yeah.
Yesterday, my husband Brian was working on the deck and he was hauling some lumber in the side gate. And then he had to drive my nephew Gunnar home. And so it's dinner time and I'm already fed Murphy and I'm like, looking, where the hell is Caesar at? I'm in the backyard. I'm looking all over. Has Caesar, get in the house. Where are you at? Blah, blah, blah. And then I see the side gate is wide open. Brian didn't shut the side gate. Oh, he doesn't care, man. He's like, freedom. I'm going to go visit all my neighbor friends. I know all of them. I'm going to their house. Probably Amy's in the garage working. I know she is. I'm going to go. So Beverly, my business partner, was over at my house. She lives like 5 houses down from me, and she has one of those little beachcomber bikes. And so if it's a football game, she's usually puts 2 bottles of wine in her basket on her beachcomber, comes to my house, and we watch the game. And so she's like on her bicycle, and she's riding through the neighborhood, yelling for Caesar. And she's texting Shasta because Shasta will go on the Facebook page and let everybody know we're walking the neighborhood. We find him. Like one of the neighbors goes, he's over at Redbud. So went and pick him up. But he doesn't know. Like he forgets, every once in a while he'll forget for like 9 months what outside looks like, what the outside of the fence looks like. But then all of a sudden, like he'll have a memory and he'll go, oh my God, I forgot there's an outside. I'm going to dig out again. Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But he comes back. He can't go very far because he's little and he gets tired and just lays down.
Easy to find if you need to.
Yeah, and he's white, so you can usually find him in the dark too. Okay, so I know that you and Andrea are what in the olden days, like the 70s and 80s, would have been called health nuts. But that's not what it is. You are very health conscious. You're very working on like, how do we keep this unit operating fully all the time at maximum? Like, I don't want to live to 129 and be in pain for 30 years, right? I want to live to 129 and everything be functioning great. And I died because I decided to go cliff diving again. You know what I'm saying? And halfway down before I hit the water, my heart went, I'm tired. We're going. You know, that's how I see it ending. And so, has it always been like that for you, or was this something that Andrea brought about for you?
So, question number 1, has it always been that way with me? Yes and no. No consistency.
Okay.
I just wasn't consistent. As soon
you were
as
interested in it and you knew about it, but
right, exactly. I was interested. I knew about it. I had gotten myself in shape a few times before. I had lost the weight a few times before, all that type of stuff. But I was just not consistent. Either I would allow stress to get in my way. I would allow stress to become the excuse to not, stay, so to say, on program, or not to stay smart with what it is that I was eating and my exercise routine and all that type of stuff. I would use travel as an excuse. Boy, was that a crock of shit, right? So I would use that as an excuse as well. And, and then I would say I've been very, very serious and consistent now for somewhat of a while. And a lot of it came down to the fact of one day I was looking at my dad and I'm like, he's 92 years old. He walks 2.5 miles a day, 2.5, 3 miles a day, every day, no problem. I got some good genes, it looks like, I got some good genes to work with. I also have some, possibly some other genes because my mother had Alzheimer's. So, so I got some other genes, maybe I got to fight off at the, at the same time. Hey, I better really get serious about this and I better start eating my own dog food of actually being disciplined and being consistent and everything, in what it is that I do. I've always been consistent in business. I've always been consistent in that part. And very, very, very high work ethic and very, very well disciplined and consistent. So no issue there, but I would let other things suffer. Only because of the fact that I just didn't make them a priority. I didn't do what it is that I was supposed to do to actually get these things done. So, since I've been consistent, yes, now I'm listening to Andrea, who healed herself from ulcerative colitis, and all 100% natural and the healthy way and everything. Following her guidelines, as she's helped so many people. With dealing with health ailments, and then just doing the, simple, I want to lose 20 pounds type of thing, So followed her guidelines, went and did some more research on my own, added it with her, consulted with her, put these things together about how to make it work within my schedule, and I've been super consistent since. I've never, ever felt better. I'm probably 2 weeks to 3 weeks away from being in the best shape of my life. And I wake up without an alarm clock. I walk somewhere in the vicinity of 3 to 5 miles every single morning. And even on the road, and I can find the time. I can figure it out. You can find the time. And I've never felt better.
So is there anything that people would think is like, well, that's kind of freaky and unusual that you do that probably the normals don't do?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Every single day that I'm on the road. Robin, controlling your food intake is the most important part of the whole thing, right? And if you allow yourself to be subject to whatever is available, you're going to lose more times than you're going to wind up winning, especially when you live a life of, hotels 3 days a week or X amount of nights per year and stuff like that. So the thing that I do that is the weirdest, so to say, is that I will either bring food from home, warm it up in the microwave in the room, bring it downstairs, combine it with something that's also available from the hotel and eat that together as my breakfast. So
the I'm a Car Chick podcast is a proud sponsor of the Social Grenade podcast. Listen now.
My morning meal will generally consist of a coffee with a scoop of protein powder, somewhere between 6 and 8 ounces of grilled chicken or some type of beef, and somewhere between 5 and 6 scrambled eggs. So I will be protein heavy first thing in the morning. That satiates me throughout the day. I generally don't eat lunch, and if I do, it's a protein shake or it's a little bit, it's just more protein. It's a hamburger patty, it's more chicken breast, it's something like that. Right. So when you're sitting downstairs at the Fairfield Inn in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and you have grilled chicken and there's no grilled chicken on the buffet, you look friggin' weird. Yeah. Okay? You look weird. But to me, I'm like, well, okay, maybe I look weird to Bill over here from Poughkeepsie, who I'm never, ever going to see again. Right? Or I can look weird every time I look in the mirror and, I'm not in the shape that I want to be in. Or
have you discovered this lately, though, that they're taking microwaves out of the rooms?
I have not run into that. I haven't run into that yet. But if they're taking microwaves out of the room, I'm going to have to come up with a plan C now for that one.
So when I was in New Jersey for by appointment only, I went down to the lobby. I was just going to get a microwave popcorn and take it back up to the room. So I go to the front guy, I check it out, whatever, and I take it up to my room. And I'm like, there's not a microwave in here anywhere. And so the next I come down, I'm like, why did you let me buy a microwave popcorn? And he's like, well, there's a microwave down here. You could have used it. And I'm like, you have a refrigerator in the room. Why don't I have a microwave in the room?
So some hotels, like maybe, so to say, like maybe Marriott hotel level and up, like Marriott, Westin, JW, like those. I don't think you're going to find a microwave in the room, And for me, it's rare that I'm staying in that type of a hotel on the road. I ain't running a client's bill up like that. That's ridiculous, but all the ones so far, I've been good.
Yeah, I love that. And that would be a great option. I just have to start checking whenever I book hotels anymore and go, is there a microwave there? Because I like even when we were at, that one right there was a Courtyard by Marriott. And then when we were at, I'm trying to think where we were at next after that. And I was like, there wasn't one either. And I'm like, what the heck, man? It was here. But they even took out of that hotel right there, that Courtyard that was right there in New Jersey. They didn't have even one of the suitcase holders. The little foldy thing. And so I was like, hey, there's not one of those things. And he goes, oh, did you need one? And I'm like, doesn't everybody who checks in here? And he's like, yeah, they pulled them out of all of the rooms, but I think I have 6 back here that are still available. I'll have them bring you one up. And I'm like, interesting.
Wow. The hotel sounds a little weird. We're going to have to talk to Anthony about the hotel choice.
That Courtyard is a little sketch.
Yeah.
Okay. So I also love to travel. Costa Rica is my place, but you guys love going to Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is the place.
So what drew you there and what keeps you going back? Because it seems like that's destination.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, be careful what you ask for, right? Be careful what you pray for, because you're going to wind up getting it.
For sure.
So the short story is, a few years ago, 3 years ago now, we had a trip booked to go to Grand Cayman. So I'm in Houston. I'm at Fred Haas Toyota, and Andrea calls me and says, "Do you know when your passport expires?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "Well, it expires on Tuesday."
Oof, you can't go.
Right. So I'm like, okay. She goes, "No, it's not okay. We're not going to Grand Cayman now. How in the world can we go there? We're going to get there. You're going to be able to get into the country. You're not going to be able to get out because your passport expired." And I was like, okay, we'll figure it out.
Let you in. It's got to be good for 6 months.
Right. Yeah. So she's like, "Oh, I'm like, God, we'll figure it out." She goes, "Figure out what? The thing expires. There's no way to get this thing." So I'm like, I'll call around. Let me see what I can do. Right. I call the passport office. I actually get somebody the next morning, and they're like, "Oh, we have one appointment available in El Paso, Texas." And I'm like, you mean at the passport office in El Paso, Texas? Yeah. What about Philadelphia? Oh, the first appointment is going to be after your trip, because I told her the whole story, right? I'm like, okay, what about New York City? Oh, that one is in 3 weeks. That's the first one. So I'm like, okay, we're not going there. So I type into Google, where can you go without a passport? So it gave me, like U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. I'm like, Puerto Rico. Yeah. Okay, never been to Puerto Rico. Go on the Marriott website, type in Puerto Rico, sort by price, highest to lowest, and I start going through, and I find the Dorado Resort, right, in Dorado, Puerto Rico. And I'm like, "We're going here." And she goes, "We're going where?" And I go, "Here, just look at this place." So I send her the link. She looks at it and she goes, the pictures were all jacked up. There were about 5 of total of this place. There were about 5 good pictures, and then a whole bunch of pictures of a Marriott, of a airport hotel Marriott, where the hotel is in the airport terminal.
Good marketing.
So out the window were all these planes. The furniture is like 1990s at best. So we didn't really have so then we went online, kept finding a couple other pictures, and I'm like, fuck it, this is where we're going. Right? So we go down there, and it's paradise, and it's the absolute best place, So because of the circumstance, because we were not supposed to be there, because we were literally sent there, we were literally sent there. So now that's our spot. And that is the place where we go every year for what we call our RRR trip, which is our rest, reset, and regroup, like reset our goals, rest for some times, reset all of our habits, renew our habits, all that type of stuff. So there is no question, as soon as school ends every year, that right in that middle of June, if you need to find me, you have to go to Dorado, Puerto Rico, because that's where we're going to be.
I love it. I love that a lot. So we're going to wrap up this live with one last subject that we want to talk about, and that is social media. And so when you're in the dealerships and you're talking to the salespeople, is social media something that you're training them on as well as sales training? Are you working with them on what they should be doing and how to generate those warm first-party leads?
So social media for me in the dealership is 2-part. Okay. Number one, it's the part with the actual, that's a part of the marketing and advertising strategy of the dealership itself, because it's very, very important that the dealership has a presence on social media, right? It is a communication channel, just like everything else. And nobody is going to be able to go against me with a reason as to why it's a waste of time, a waste of investment, or anything for the dealership to be on social. Okay. Right. Then after that, it is the salesperson. Without a doubt, it's the salesperson. I say all the time, Robin, as soon as a customer gets out of the car that they want to get rid of and they walk into the dealership, okay, the entity of the dealership immediately changes. It changes from this place that you look at from the outside and they got cars there and everybody there is a stranger. You don't know anyone, right? And do they sell the type of car that the type of car that you're interested in? What's their reputation? Do they take care of their customers? That kind of stuff. All of that is gone. It all disappears as soon as the customer walks in, because that's when they make eye contact, right? Or live communication contact with a salesperson. Now it's the salesperson and that customer. It's not the dealership. The dealership turns into a building that you just stay out of the rain and they got air conditioning and there's a bathroom. That's it, right? At that point, that's it. So that relationship, that communication, what's going on between that salesperson and the customer is paramount. Anything that can be done to set a foundation for the way that communication is going to be, right?
Epic BDC is a proud sponsor of the Social Grenade podcast. Tune in.
It must be done. The customer has to feel, or it's a huge benefit to the dealership and to the salesperson for the customer to feel some type of a connection with that salesperson. Okay? So that is where the salesperson's presence on social media is an absolute must to me. It's an absolute must. Even though there are high-performing salespeople that do not have a presence on social media. You got people with a presence on social media, they sell 4 cars a month, okay? Still, no matter what, there's going to be extremes on both ends all the time. The presence is absolutely necessary. What should that presence look like? The salesperson should look like a human being. He or she should look like a real person, a real everyday person that selling cars, helping people buy cars, that is what they do. The same way that if you see Will Smith on social media, he is an actor. That is what he does. If you see Tom Cruise, if you see John Bon Jovi, right? They are entertainers. That is what they do. It's the exact same thing for Mikey Mercedes or for Bowtie guy, for any of those guys. It's the same thing. Right. They just what they do is they help people buy cars.
Right.
That's
and I think for me, I always go back to the customer journey, right? And not to make this about a woman, but I can only speak as a woman because I don't know what it's like for a guy buying a car. But for a woman, like you're walking into a dealership and you don't know anybody there. I mean, the anxiety before you get there is just stressful anyways, because I always felt like before I was in the industry and even in the industry, because my last car buying experience was absolutely garbage and it happened in June. It was absolute fucking garbage. Those people should be embarrassed that's how they do business. However, I digress. But as a human walking in here and I don't know anybody, I don't know anything about, I don't know whether the guy that's helping me has worked at a dealership for 5 minutes or 500 years. I don't know if he knows anything about vehicles. I'm walking in blind, right? I'm really walking in blind. And I think that if salespeople will start becoming the trusted advisors in the car buying process ahead of the game, like if you start telling me on social when I should rotate my tires and why I should rotate them at 7,500 miles. And if you're scheduling an oil change, just schedule your tires being rotated at the same time. Don't have to worry about this. You know what I'm saying? That's educational to me. And that lets me know that you've added to my life as a consumer, right? And so I may not be in the car market right now. Like I may not be in the car market for another year, but if you're the guy that is gal that's constantly feeding me the stuff that says, hey, temperatures are getting ready to drop here in New Jersey. Like let's say it's October and tomorrow the temperatures are going to dip below 30 degrees. If you park your car outside, when you get in your car, your TPS lights are probably going to come on.
Yep.
If they are, here's my number. Text me. I'll get you in the service department. We'll put air back in those tires again and do blah, blah, blah. If they would do that thing, then the time that I'm ready to buy a car, that person who has added to my car knowledge during this time, and I know they have a dog and their daughter plays soccer, and I know these things about them that align with who I am as well. I'm not walking into a dealership blind anymore. I'm coming in and I'm going, hey, is Jared here? I need to talk to Jared. And Jared don't know me from anybody, but I feel like I know Jared because I have consumed Jared's content for over 3 months now, and Jared has become the trusted advisor in the car buying process. I feel like he's somebody that I could trust in selling me a car. And I think that if car salespeople would take that more seriously, first of all, let us know who you are and what you do and where you do it. Yes, those things are important. But also go back to tell me who you are. Are you married? Did you and your wife go kayaking this weekend? Did you catch that, 40-pound big mouth bass? What are the things that you did that I'm going to go interesting, just so many things about you, but then educate me or entertain me, because I guarantee you when I'm sitting at the stoplight scrolling Facebook, I'm not scrolling looking to see if you sold another damn car, Jared. I'm looking to see what you did this weekend. Did you post something interesting to me? And so then I become this little fan that you don't even know you have. I become a groupie of Jared's, and he doesn't even know it because I'm consuming his content. So I keep getting his content because he puts stuff out there that's interesting to me. And then as a consumer now, I don't feel vulnerable walking into a dealership. Like, I don't feel that. And so I always think about it from the customer journey and go, what do I want them to feel before they get here? And I don't care who ups them on the lot. They're not going to talk to anybody but me.
Right. That's right.
Them.
And Robin, that's not a male female type of thing that you described there. That is a thing. That is a 100% legit thing. Anytime anybody is in an interaction with a stranger, okay, it's going to feel clunky and it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel clumsy. Now take that interaction and have the product of it be a $20, $40, $60, $80, $100,000 vehicle. Now we got a lot on the line. Now the level of risk is absolutely tremendous. So female or male, it don't matter. In my opinion, the behavior, the feeling of the anxiety is just shown differently. It's just displayed a little bit different. That's it, right?
Well, I can't tell you the male side because my husband hasn't bought a car in 20 years. I bought every vehicle he's ever driven. So like, I don't know what he feels like when he goes to a car dealership because he hasn't ever had to do it.
Right. And I can tell you because I see it all the time.
Yeah.
It's a constant thing. Now, what is the difference? Okay. And I teach this in Strong30 training all the time. If you just use the percentages, okay? Just use the stats. The average fresh showroom visit closes at somewhere in the vicinity of 40 to 45%. People will say, oh, 40, Frankie, what kind of shitty dealerships are you working with? No, you just don't know how to figure out your numbers over there, Clyde, right? You just don't know how to figure it out, okay? So 40 to 45%. The average B-back closes at somewhere between 70 to 85%. A repeat customer or a customer that's a referral will close at 70 to 80%. Why?
That's gold.
Because they were sent. Because they were sent. Because somebody already built this picture. Somebody already said, oh, you're looking for an F-150? Well, shit, you have to go and see my boy Frank. I bought my truck from him. He's really, really good, right? He's really patient. I had like 900 different questions. He answered every one of them, no problem. I was thinking I wanted a particular color, and he was like, nah, man, you don't want that color. It's going to be dirty all the time. Look at this color instead. If you want that one, buy it. It's right there. But take a look at this instead. I thought I wanted this and that. And he goes, no, what do you want that for? You don't need all that. You just need this, right? I could have bought it. It was right there. But he told me, no, you don't want to spend the extra money on that. Buy this instead. This is better for you. You're never going to use that shit. Buy this instead. He helped me out the right way. Now, right? Now his buddy shows up and Frank just manifested into a real person, but he ain't going to rip me off. He's going to answer my questions. He's going to point me in the right direction. He's not going to let me make a mistake. And then boom. 70 to 80% closing.
And if you look at them, like they don't negotiate as hard either because they feel like they're already dealing with somebody that they can trust. So they're not coming in going, oh, no, we're not paying that. You got to get that price lower. They don't, those referrals do not negotiate half as much as somebody that's just off the street, that's the only tactic they have.
Right. And look, Robin, you and I both know referrals and repeat business takes a while to generate, okay? Because you have to talk to a bunch of people. You have to actually sell from strangers. You have to grind through that 40 to 45% closing ratio. And then there's a percentage of those people that do buy a car that you want to keep. And then you have to wait for time. The time has to come for the referral to be able to be given.
Right.
The time has to come for that repeat customer to be back in cycle, to be back in market again.
Right.
Okay. So if you want to compress that time, how are you going to do it?
The I'm a Car Chick podcast is a proud sponsor of the Social Grenade podcast. Listen now.
You have to create the same type of feeling in the customer that they know you or they know about you. Okay. But you don't have the repeat and referrals to do it. How do you do it? You do it on social media. You do it on Facebook. You do it on Instagram. You do it on TikTok. You do it wherever the hell it is that you're comfortable. Start someplace, do something.
Just do something.
Okay.
And it's funny because, whenever I create it, I've had people say like, why right now, why does Social Grenade only post to Facebook? Like that's the only platform that you have it for. And I'm like, I needed you guys to start somewhere. Right. I needed you guys to start consistently somewhere. And if you look at the demographics of people who are on Facebook right now, who has the money? It's that generation. They're the ones that have the money right now. And they literally spend a lot of time on that platform. In the US, 1.4 billion daily active users on Facebook in the US alone, right? So like you can't ignore the size of that audience and the fact that they didn't grow up with Uber and could live without a car. We didn't do that. We feel like we need to own a car. And so like we started with that for a purpose. If you want to make some content today and sell a car tomorrow, you're not going to do that. The only platform you're going to even do that where you can attract somebody in. And we always talk about everything in the 2-step process, right? So I think about every post I make on social as 2 steps. If I'm wanting to sell something, it's first of all, day one, I need to pull this audience in. Who are they? How do I attract them into my hemisphere? How do I get them in here right now? So if I were looking for salespeople, let's just say it was that right there, then I'm going to do something that's going to fit that demographic today that they're going to engage with, and it'll have nothing to do with whatever I'm selling tomorrow. I'm going to pull them in. If it was, which one of these cartoons has to go? Maybe something as stupid as that, right? Or which one of these video games has to go? If I'm looking for those, 25 to 35-year-olds, which one of these video games has to go? You can only pick 2. I'm sucking them into my world today. If I'm looking for those salespeople who are going to be selling cars on social media, and then tomorrow, then I'm serving them up the thing that I want them to have because they played with me today. I'll get them tomorrow. So I think of everything that I do on social in 2 steps. If I were a car salesperson and it was hunting season and I wanted to sell a bunch of big ass Ram trucks and it's deer season, I'm going to literally go, hey, drop me a picture below. I know you guys have been out hunting. Drop me a picture because that's the only time guys 100% of the time take selfies is when they have killed that deer. Drop me your deer right down below here. I want to see what you guys have gotten and tell me where you got it, blah, 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 blah. And then tomorrow I'm posting that big ass Ram truck and go, hey, your deer called me. He said he wants to ride home in this next year. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pulling them in.
Right.
I think I'm attracting an audience, a certain tribe of people today, and then I'm selling them what I want to do. And I can duplicate that all week long. I can do soccer moms here and sell them a minivan. I can do boomers over here and sell them a Santa Cruz. I can do this all day long, right? Like I can pull the audience in today and then sell them something tomorrow. And I think that the spray and pray, like it's like, I say this all the time, every big city has a Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, like everybody has one. And the way that it's getting done right now is that it's just like if you were driving down MLK Boulevard on a busy day with your window rolled down and went, Nissan Versas for $199 a month. And you're just yelling at the crowd. And you don't know whether these people have a driver's license, whether they would even drive, whether Versa would work for them or not. You're just throwing this crap out there, which is what we see dealerships and salespeople doing instead of pulling in the people. Like if Versa is where your dealer cash is this month, and you're like, I need to sell Versas, you have to analyze who are the people in my database, what do they look like? Who are they that buy Versas? Who are all the people? And then how do I attract them in? And then I can get the message to them on social organically free.
Right, exactly. And be careful, salespeople, listen, be very, very careful of that message, okay? Be careful of the message. Make sure always that the message has some type of value to the recipient. We just saw last week, a salesperson at a dealership get fired for talking about how they put together some customer. Like, obviously, son, that is not something that you put on social media in a bragging, making fun of type of way.
No.
Okay. So don't be a knucklehead. Just because somebody else does something doesn't mean that you should do it as well. Just because somebody else does something does not mean it's the right thing to do. And just because you watch somebody do something doesn't mean that that's what your customers want to watch. There's a big thing right now where we see dealerships putting out, or copying viral video or copying certain things that have literally zero interest, zero worth to their customers whatsoever. But they think that that's what they should put on because this other dealership got 500,000 views. Yeah, Robin, they got 500,000 views from me and you looking at it saying, this is freaking worthless. Nobody who wants to buy a car or in the market for a car is going to respond to this whatsoever. If you got 500,000 car guys watching your stuff and you're not trying to sell stuff to car guys, guess what? Your audience is wrong, son. Right. Your audience is wrong. You're going down the wrong road.
Well, but I think some of them are looking at like they're going for views instead of going for what they're in business to do, which is sell vehicles. We want views and we want followers, and that's just a vanity license plate, right? That's all that is. It's a vanity plate. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with you're gonna keep cashing those $2,500 a month checks because that's all you're gonna make. Because like I live in a town of 50,000 people. If I got 1 million views, irrelevant if I'm a local person, right? It's irrelevant how many that I got. How many people did I get that actually engaged with me that wanted to think? We did a post last year. I have some local salespeople that I guinea pig on that I'm like, hey, I want you to try this out. When we started working on the theory of tribes, I'm like, I want to test this out. So I texted him a picture. I'd made this beautiful picture of this muscly man's arm with this beautiful tattoo on it. And in old English font, I put on there, show me your ink. And so I sent it to Phil and I said, Phil, post this. Here's what the caption will be. I need you to do this exactly. I'm thinking about getting my first tattoo. I don't know what I want to get yet. Drop me a picture of your favorite tattoo and tag your tattoo artist down below. Show me what you guys got. I mean, pictures are just coming. Like by the end of the day, we're at 80 comments. And I told Phil, I'm like, reply to every comment. Facebook doesn't care.
Always.
Facebook doesn't care if there's 40 organic and 40 replies. It's going to say there's 80 comments on this post. Okay. That's what they're going to count it as. I said, so reply back to everybody immediately. Oh my God, that one's cool. Blah, 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 whatever. And they're tagging all of these businesses too, which is just more, it's just getting it further and further out there. So at the end of the day, and he's at about 80 comments on there, I said, okay, now I need you to go out on the lot. I need you to take a picture of the hottest first. I said, look at the people who commented. I want you to make us surmise who they are as people, what they drive, who they are. I said, now go take a picture of your hottest, freshest trade that you think fits this demographic of people who commented on your post. And then your text is going to say, hey, I need to know what you could afford for this 2021 Camaro, blah, 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 has all of these things right here. Drop me what your payment would be down below. And he had only 7 comments on that, but 3 of them were buyers.
Yeah.
So one of them was like, I've got a budget of about $400. Do you think that we can do something with that? And he's like, hey, I'm going to DM you right now. Another lady comments on there. She's like, Phil, call me about this car right now. And so like it worked exactly like we wanted it to. I didn't need 1 million views on there. I just needed 1 or 2 buyers.
Right. You don't need, exactly. You don't need 1 million views. You just need somebody who wants to buy a car to be the 1 view you get.
Yeah. So
like that's it.
He sold that Camaro to one of those 2 ladies that night.
Nice.
So it was perfect. And so I love doing those tests right there and going, how can we attract a tribe and then sell a vehicle to them? So fun stuff. So Frank, how can people find you?
The best way to find me is anywhere on social media. Just go into the search bar and type in Frank J. Lopes. If you just type Frank Lopes, you're going to get a singer from Portugal and you're going to get a soap opera actor from Brazil. You got to put the J in there. Okay. Frank J. Lopes. You will find me. You're not going to forget this handsome face. That's for sure.
That's right.
You know?
Best hair in the industry.
That's right. And then just message me. That's it. That's the best way to get in touch with me.
Okay. I am going to drop all of your social links in the show notes down below. If you're a dealership and you need some solid training at your dealership and you need to implement all of the fun stuff and the great things that Frank brings to a dealership, be sure to reach out to him. I'm sure he has room for a couple of more dealers. And just like I am super grateful for the opportunity to serve the automotive industry and to change people's lives, even all the way down to the detail guys, right? Their lives are changed whenever we improve the salespeople's lives too. So I appreciate you coming on here. Always enjoy chatting with you. And thank you so much for being my guest today.
Right back at you, Robin. I love it. Thank you for the time. I'm glad that we got to actually do this. I'm glad our calendars didn't get messed up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We made it a priority to do it. And I hope we brought value to everybody who's been watching.
Absolutely. Peace out, folks.
For sure.